Welcome to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. If you are a sports bettor, this is the most important hour of your day because the #1 sports consultant in America has brought his national radio show and podcast here to YouTube. So while you're here, go ahead and like and subscribe or download the podcast and listen on your schedule. And now, here is our host, the #1 sports consultant in America, ready to make you money this week and every week, the Fat Jack.
Hello and welcome to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, the Fat Jack. The weekend is here. The NBA season has started. College basketball's around the corner. Breeders' Cup's on the way. Halloween is here. Football's going great. Are you ready to make some money? Go to fatjacksports.com. Get signed up today and win this weekend. We have so many things to get to. Let me bring in my co-host all the way from Louisville, Kentucky, Brandon Rush. How are you, buddy?
I'm spectacular. It is birthday weekend, and added into that, the baseball playoffs have been absolutely enjoyable, not only to watch, but also to bet on.
Yeah, the free plays of the baseball have added just profit day after day after day. The UFC was 5-1 again last week. I mean, they're killing it as well. The football plays did not win this last weekend for the first real time all year. We pushed another week, but this last week we lost a tiny bit. It's only on Saturday and Sunday. We'd won every day leading up to that, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So everybody was into profit. But this is that time of year when if I don't win every single day, some jackass with a computer and a dream gets online, emails me something. And I love it when they quote the record. That's my favorite thing. You know, like right. I don't have literally $100,000 or more bet on a given Saturday.
As if you have no idea how you did Saturday.
And then I have to, with some way, not be condescending about it.
Right.
Explain to them that we didn't just start on Saturday and that the 25-6 start we had in college football and the 30 games or so were up, not counting the bases, which are up another 20 since August, or the UFC that's up another 15 since August, that all of those count exactly the same as his games did that he signed up on a Saturday where we lost one in overtime, another one by half a point, another one gave up a pick six. We had some bad luck, which going to happen, right? I mean, nothing is a big deal when you're signed up long-term making money each week. Everything's a big deal when you waited until Saturday morning in the middle of October after 6 or 7 winning weeks with the service, signed up, and then you got a little unlucky on one day. So I get it, but I will tell you, Brandon, it's so much better, as you said, to be in our position that we are so deep into profit. A lot of times the average guy, average client who's on for the year, on since, the Super Bowl or January of this year, or even signed up in August, they don't even know how they don't care. Because it's one game. It's not a big deal. But by gosh, the guy that bet on his own for 6 or 7 weeks or was swindled by some other service, he knows exactly what happens and decides it's time to repeat that to me via email.
Right.
As if I wasn't paying attention.
So much riding on like 1 week for these few people that they're mad at themselves and they're projecting it onto you.
Emotional tampon.
Yep.
They think that's part of the service.
Yeah.
I've looked on the package page.
That does not exist.
It's not an emotional tampon package. I should offer it and then just say this. That's what we should do, Brandon. I'm missing the boat here. $1,000 a month. And you can go to a special portal on the website to say anything and everything that is on your mind in
just
your personal life,
let it out. Yeah.
Professional life, personal life, and certainly as it relates to the games that you're getting and paying for each weekend. That's what we should do. I'm going to send those directly to you. You're going to get a bonus. It's going to be great. It's a win-win-win. I'm always looking for win-wins. Yes. That would be the win-win. If people are going to unload their frustrations after 6 or 7 weeks of bad decisions on their own because of one day where we got a little bit unlucky. It wasn't like we went over. We just lost a couple of games more than we won, which I understand if you've been losing all year was a big deal. But if you're winning all year, it's equally not a big deal.
Yeah, you take away the Monday night winner, the Thursday night winner, and the fact that there's college football. Between college football and the NFL, there's football every day almost through Thanksgiving. Like, there's going to be wins all throughout the week. Don't hang everything on one stinking Saturday.
Of course, the lesson here, and by the way, I should say, if you signed up Saturday, I sent you an email explaining this as nicely as I could to everybody and said, here's a coupon code. Here's $150 off any package going forward. So now you didn't pay for last week. So don't tell me that you paid for something that you didn't win with, because you now didn't pay. I'm encouraging you to invest that $150 in at least through Halloween or through November or through Dare to Dream. They would win through the Super Bowl, so that the next time we have a bad day, which may not happen for a month or more, but probably will happen, you won't be upset because you'll be deep into profit. And with all of the other clients that are winning money each week, you will quit looking at yourself in the mirror on Monday morning saying, gosh, I'm such a loser when it comes to sports gambling. How unlucky am I that I waited 6 or 7 weeks? I know he tells the truth. He posts all the results. I know he wins, but I waited for 6 or 7 weeks, then signed up, then he lost. I'm such a loser. I don't want you to say that to yourself, because I know we win. You're only upset because you didn't get those winning plays. So go to fatjacksports.com. Great weekend to do so. $99 through Monday if you're listening to this show over the weekend. It's more if you sign up on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, because, as we just said, last week we won Monday, we won Tuesday with baseball, we won Wednesday, won Thursday, won Friday. We won all week. So it's more, but it's nominally more. You're going to pay $169 if you sign up on Wednesday or Thursday. So if you're playing even $50 a game, you're going to make money versus waiting until Saturday midday when it turns to $99. So whenever you're listening, go there right now. The prices go down as we go through the week, as we go through the year. Basketball's here. The NBA's underway. I sent out those preseason winners. College basketball starting up soon. It's a great time. It's almost impossible for us to have a really, really bad week once basketball starts, because it's not just about, as we just talked about, Saturdays or a Sunday or where we might have a losing day. When you pile up even the body of work over a couple of weeks, you're going to have so many great days because the handicapping is really good that you're going to be okay with 1 or 2 days where you don't make money. So it's a great time to get signed up. The prices have never been a better value. Go to fatjacksports.com, sign up today. $99 for football, $149 football and basketball through Monday. Go through Halloween, it's even less money, about $100 a week, less than $100 a week to go through November, and even less money per week to go through the Super Bowl. And that, of course, is going to get you on the right side. You're going to look at yourself and say, I'm a winner, not a loser. So a great time to get signed up. Thoughts from last week, Brandon?
I mean, it was an upset week. I think there were 34 college football underdogs that won outright. And then in the early window in the NFL, there were 5 NFL underdogs that won outright. It was a bloodbath for a lot of people. So the fact that we only dropped a couple games over the weekend, heck of a lot better than a lot of other people did who played with the public.
Yeah, a little bit frustrated because I do play a lot of underdogs typically. I just, you go where the handicapping takes you. It's not like you can pick underdogs or favorites, but dogs were 34, 11, and 1 last week against the spread, 75%. So if you just played all the underdogs, now that won't be that way every week, but and the general public lost juice and then some. 90% of the money, the most bet game of the week was on Kansas. At most of the books, they end up losing and not covering because everybody got that below 10. I mean, it went to 10 like 30 minutes before the game. So
it opened 7, and we were just dumbfounded. And the fact that it ballooned as much as it did by Friday night, Saturday morning was wild.
And they were right. So that's why, again, it's about knowing who not to bet as much as it is who to bet. Tennessee was the other one. And by the way, I said all over the country and in Knoxville. This show runs in Knoxville, of course, around Tennessee. I said all over the country until further notice. It's Alabama, Georgia, and then everybody else in the SEC. By the way, notice was given.
Emphatically, although they tried to give it away a couple times.
They definitely did, but that is that David and Goliath thing.
Sure.
I mean, you even if you're not we see this all the way down to normal teams that they just don't know how to win. They get in a position and they just do what they can to give it away against anybody. That's not what Tennessee obviously is, or what a lot of teams aren't in the world. They can beat most people, but when it gets to taking down, the pressure becomes squarely on Tennessee the longer that game goes, as silly as that sounds, because you're like, well, Alabama's playing for national championship and none of it. No. When you've lived your entire, not only adult life, but life for a lot of these people, fans, players alike, not being able to beat the giant, when you get that close and you get an opportunity, it is hard to close the deal. So you're right. They did try to give it away, and a knuckleball goes through. I'm so happy for the Vols fans. I live in Oklahoma, and I've traveled around the country doing a bunch of things. So I'm not really invested in a college team, not only personally but professionally. But I've been on in Knoxville. This show's run down there, and I've been going on there since my son was like 7. He's now 23. So we went live with this morning show down there, Doc, Jeff, Heather in the morning or something, that we went, and he was like 8 or 9 years old, and got him a Tennessee. So I've been invested with the fans, and by the way, I have a ton of clients in the state of Tennessee.
Yep.
But I've been invested with the fans in Tennessee based on their happiness or not happy. And they're one of those markets that's similar to where I grew up, where in Oklahoma there is not an NFL team. It's all about college football. It's all about who's in your backyard. If you've ever been to Knoxville, it is the quintessential college football town in the middle of nowhere. Very beautiful. Everything is built around the Vols. There's a hotel there. There used to be one in Norman called Sooner Legends that was basically every room was themed after Oklahoma. Tennessee has that. They have that hotel there.
And they have like the checkerboard floor or whatever in the lobby.
So obnoxious. The most obnoxious, ridiculous hotel. I've stayed there a couple of times. I go through Knoxville to go on the radio, and I make a point to stay there because it's that obnoxious. You've got to experience it. But this is a group of fans that are thriving and living their best life when the Vols are winning.
Yeah.
And to see them close the door, great for them. Congratulations. Big win. Now follow it up. You've got the team that can go all the way, can do those things. Don't lose to somebody you're not supposed to. Get yourself in the playoff and then do what you're doing. This team's good on both sides of the ball. I'm not a big recency bias guy, but they put together a body of work not only this year, but in a lot of last year that shows this team is for real. And they can take it to that next level. So good for them.
Yeah.
Hope they continue it for sure.
And then they're kind of making that upward trend. Like you always see it, especially like in the NFL, where you get teams that maybe get out above their skis a little bit too much, and they get into uncharted territories, and they don't know how to close out games. You got to have that heartbreak before you get to the pinnacle. And it kind of feels like that's where Tennessee has been. They've had some years where they've made a couple leaps and bounds, and then things fall flat. Yeah, right. If they can build off this Alabama win, that will be absolutely huge, and just continue that needle upwards.
And how good is college football right now?
Oh my gosh!
I mean, we always every Sunday it seems like we shake our head and say, "This is why it's the most popular sport in America." It's not even close. College football doing every bit of their part. Everybody sits around. We literally start sometime in mid-June, counting down the days until the camps will report, the mini camp in the summer for the NFL, college kids show up. We start counting it down. Summertime in America is about how much more till we get to college football.
Right.
And this season is doing nothing to damper that. I mean, it's just incredible how close the games are, how much parity there is in the league. And I will tell you, as much as I hate the transfer portal has a lot to do with that. You think that they're going to go places that make it more top end. But the reality is college athletes don't know how to evaluate their own talent, period. So a lot of times,
a lot of good life decisions aren't made at 17, 18, 19 years old.
They're not. So they're transferring out of a place that really they might have been fine. They go to a place they're sitting behind somebody, not getting the start, whatever. And then you'll have guys transfer in. They're given opportunities. It's that whole theory of lesser athletes, I don't believe, are given the chance at the top D1 levels. We see that every year. They're now being given that chance because some of these programs, especially when they have turnover coaching, they're having to take a shot on some of these players, and some of them are stepping into the role, and they're not afraid of things. They walk around with a chip on their shoulder, and good for them. So excited about college football, excited about this weekend. NBA's underway, and we are ready to make some money. Go to FatJackSports.com. I do not run $99 specials hardly ever anymore.
Yep.
I just don't, because we make so much money. It's a great value at $169, at $189, with basketball at $229. Even if you're going weekly, and I tell you, go longer. And when you do, you are paying less than $100 a week anyway, every week. So that $99 a week that a lot of guys, I'll have guys out there that have been losing. They're like, oh, he's $99. I'll take advantage of this and see how he does. Give it a try. I love those statements. Love that. See how he does. Like I hadn't been here for 27 freaking years.
All right. They're going to go off the taste test instead of the proven model.
Everything's posted and documented. You don't have to guess how we're doing. You don't have to see how we're doing. If you want to win, go check out the results tab. Look at everything. Every game you get is going to be posted there. And by the way, every game that you're not getting and didn't get the previous week, 2 weeks, 5 years, 5 years, 10 years are posted there. You don't have to guess or see how we're doing. But there'll be guys out there. That's going to be their plan. $99, I'll get a bunch of new clients. So let's see how the old boy does. Most likely we're going to win and going to win big. But I don't do a lot of $99 specials because it's a great deal anyway. And if you go longer term, you're paying less than $99 every week.
Anyways, yeah.
So go get signed up, $99, and start winning this week. See what winning selections will do for you. You want to give away a free winner this weekend when you take a break? What do you want to do?
Let's get into a free winner because we continue to we need to get this bad taste out of our mouth after a losing week in football. I feel.
Yeah, I just like I say, and I don't. It wasn't. I'm not. My taste is already gone. It was gone the minute I hit about 7 of the last 8 baseball games, and it was was gone the minute that the UFC won again. It was gone actually the minute we made about 25 games of profit in the month of September. So I don't have a bad, but I get. You're right. I mean, streaks negative don't run with me.
No,
they just don't, because it takes bad luck and some bad plays to have a losing week. So, and we just don't have the combination, of that very often. So, but we will get back on. We're gonna have a huge weekend. Let's look at Kansas Baylor. This Kansas team, as we said, great start to the year. Come in and are doing everything right. Quarterback goes down. They're definitely a different team, as most college football teams are without their quarterback.
Sure.
And then they come into Norman and get really run over by a team that defensively was still, I don't think, very good. But Kansas was not able to take advantage of that. Offensively, a bunch of points scored. Now they go to Baylor, a team that's been underachieving based on where I had them.
Yep.
Went to Iowa State, lost Oklahoma State at home. They're not scoring any points. This team under this coach seems to get worse and worse offensively. He's a defensive-minded guy, and that works. Sometimes it doesn't work sometimes. And now you got the Jayhawks going down to Waco, catching 8.5, total 63. Any thoughts on this one, Brandon?
The total is the thing that kind of sticks out to me the most there, because Baylor has been so ineffective being consistent on the offensive side of the ball. That game against West Virginia was a tight, highly scoring game. But I kind of think that Kansas, even with this quarterback, can put up some points. So it all depends on what Baylor can do.
Yeah, and they should be able to take advantage of some of the weaknesses with Kansas. Kansas is a very important part of their schedule. I said about a month ago they were going to a bowl game, and the people up in Kansas needed to be fake tanning, get a fake tan long-term subscription.
Get ready for the Outback Bowl or wherever you're going.
You don't want to be Iowa. Iowa shows up at these bowl games and the sun's reflecting off their arms. I mean, the pasty white and drunk in South Florida in December, January, not sexy for anybody.
Not a good look.
Don't bring that action if you're a fan of the Jayhawks, because they're going to be bowling. You're not going to be sitting at Fog Out. What is in Kansas? Fog Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
Fog Allen Fieldhouse. You're not going to be doing that, at least for a weekend or so, because I think your team's going bowling. Still do. But this is a big part of their schedule. If they go lose by 3 touchdowns here, where are they? I think they keep this one close. I think that you're getting a little bit of value with how they played against OU. Mm-hmm. OU's offense certainly clicking a little bit when they got their quarterback back. So them being able to score points, I don't know that was a knock against Kansas. Their defense has been inconsistent anyway. Baylor's not going to do that offensively. So I do think there's some room here for this thing to stay close. I think there's a resiliency going on in Lawrence, Kansas, and I think their coach is really, really good, and I think he will get them dialed in for this one. Take Kansas plus the points at Baylor as your first free winner of the day. 800-298-1383. Go to fatjacksports.com right now. $99. Don't call and sign up over the phone unless you absolutely have to, because I'll have guys do that, and they're going to take 5 minutes out of my day to sign up, and you can do it online, and the picks are sent automatically. Like the minute you press enter, it will sign you up, charge your card, and email you the picks immediately. If you don't get an email with the picks, check your spam folder, because you did. It's all automated. If you didn't get anything and it's 5 a.m., understand the picks are not coming out until probably 8 a.m. if it's Saturday. So it'll all take care of itself. Go to the website. It's very, very simple to do, and you're going to win this weekend. Go to fatjacksports.com, get signed up today, and win this weekend. We're going to take a break. I have so many things to get to on this sheet. I was going to talk about Texas being 6-1 against the spread, Tulane 6-1 against the spread. That was one of our winners in the podcast version of the show. for free. We'll get to all of that. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, come back, get you ready for a full weekend of football and basketball and baseball. You're listening to the Fat Jack Sports Hour.
Hey, it's Brandon Rush from the Fat Jack Sports Service. If you want to stay in touch with everything related to the Fat Jack, follow us on all the socials. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. We are there at Fat Jack Sports. You can also watch the Fat Jack Sports Hour on YouTube every weekend. Plus, see funny clips from the show, see Jack's appearances on the nationally syndicated TV show Beat the Odds, and get primed for more profit every week with Bets and Breakfast, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. only on YouTube. Stay connected to the Fat Jack at Fat Jack Sports on all the socials and on YouTube.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it's basketball season. Football's underway. The Breeders' Cup's around the corner. Are you ready to make some money? Go to FatJackSports.com, sign up today, and win betting the games against the spread. Football season has started off great. The first month was a killer for our clients, and basketball's going to be the same. Don't miss out on this profit over the next month. $99 this weekend for all the winners. That's $99 through Monday at FatJackSports.com. Get winning plays today at FatJackSports.com.
Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour, and now here is our host, a man who thoroughly enjoys spooky season. He's the Fat Jack.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 2. Yeah, I do. I love Halloween. I typically am in Vegas for Halloween because it falls somewhere between Thursday and Sunday.
Second greatest weekend to be in Vegas is Halloween weekend.
Yeah, it's like Slutfest.
It's amazing.
I mean, it doesn't matter. And I love America because the vibe is just, it doesn't matter. You can be 400 pounds. You can be whatever. You're going to be a sexy fairy if you're 400 pounds. So it's fine. I'm with it. I'm here for it. But yeah, great holiday out there. Won't be out there this year. It's on like a Monday or Tuesday, right?
Yeah. But that weekend still, you'll be out there doing the TV show and everything else. But that day specifically is fantastic.
It really is. By the way, got a customer service quiz for you, Brandon.
I'm ready.
We talk about customer service. I continue to think about sending. I do send you the ones that I just don't want to deal with.
Sure.
Had a guy. I want to know critique me real quick, and then we're going to get to a free winner, $99 weekend. Go get signed up at FatJackSports.com. But just quick, I got an email from a guy, Alan. We'll call him because that's his name. How about another free winner, Fat Jack? I respond. So he wants another free. I already sent a free winner. You can go on every platform, social media, otherwise, and sign up for a free winner. This guy had one with a free, wanted another free winner. Seems like a harmless question, right?
Sure. Yeah. It's very, the man just wants more of what you give out.
Which is why I hate free winners to begin with.
Sure.
You free winners, you're not signing up, you lose free winners, you get mad about it. That's how guys are because they're idiots, some of them. I then write, trying to be nice, I responded with, if you wanted a free winner, you can apply for one on the website or follow us on social media outlets at the Fat Jack.
Right. And that's probably could be like a canned response. That could have been coming from anybody in the office, not just you.
Okay. It's at Fat Jack Sports, what I said, because that's who you are. And then, of course, I continued. Of course, free winners will not turn you into a winning sports gambler. You should go to the website, invest in a package that consistently will get you winning selections that will help you win money.
That is informative, and that is very much a saying, hey, thanks for coming. Exit through the gift shop.
I put good luck at the end. That's my response.
Perfect.
Alan writes,
oh, boy.
Don't talk down to me, you fat a-hole, and take me off your list.
Again, this goes back to what we talked about in the first segment. This guy, Alan, really just is mad at life and took it out on you.
Because I was making sure that my customer service was not out of base.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you hit every point that you're supposed to. You acknowledged the request, you provided a solution, and you wished him well.
All right, I was just making sure because one thing I didn't do that I think he wanted was provided with an additional free winner, and I'm not doing that. So I guess another reason that we're going over this, besides the fact I needed some reassurance that my customer service not totally fallen off the cliff because I felt like it did, is that if you want another free winner, don't email me for one. Because the nicest email you're going to get is the one I just sent. And if we're losing, you're going to get a much worse one.
So this leads me to a money-making opportunity.
Okay. Tell me about it.
We will turn around and make a t-shirt out of this. On the front, want a free winner? On the back, don't be an Allen. Sign up at FatJackSports.com.
Brandon, I don't pay you enough. It's clear at this point. It's been clear for 20 years, but it's clear at this point. I don't pay you enough. That's exactly what we're going to do. Want a free winner on the front, on the back, don't be an Allen. Sign up at FatJackSports.com. That's exactly what we're going to do. And those will be, they're going to be basically cost. And we're going to get as many of those out there as we can. I'm going to make $1 and then I'm going to donate it to charity or something. And I'm going to give you half or something.
Perfect.
We'll be like Barstool. So, Karen, get on the deal. We get some T-shirts. All right, I've got her on it. I've got a production going. So stay tuned for that. Look on the website. Don't be an Allen. That's exactly right. Don't be an Allen. Free winners are not going to get you into profit. They're not going to turn you into a winning gambler. Signing up for less than $100 a week will. That's very, very simple. If you're going to Vegas, go out there. If we have a losing week, like I just said with the start of the deal, I'll give you a credit for $150. If you're in Vegas, I'll give you your next trip for free if you don't win. So go get signed up. It's the easiest way to turn your season around and start winning. Texas 6-1 against the spread. Tulane 6-1 against the spread. Where's this Alabama team heading after a couple, by the way, could have 3 losses.
Absolutely. They should have lost to A&M if Texas A&M had any clue what the hell they were doing in short yardage and goal line situations.
And Texas was one play.
Mm-hmm.
They got a sack toward the end of that game on the quarterback where he basically the defensive pressure, the cornerback ducked under and they had to kick a 50-yard field goal at the end versus about a 32-yarder, or they could have lost against Texas as well. So where does this Alabama team go?
Well, if you look at previous trends, it doesn't bode well for Mississippi State. 2019, Alabama lost to LSU. They turned around and beat Mississippi State by 31. Last year, Alabama lost to A&M, turned around and beat Mississippi State by 40. They just lost last week to Tennessee. Guess who's on the schedule right now? Mississippi State.
So I think, we think, and by the way, Alabama 21.5-point favorite at home back in Tuscaloosa in that game. I think we just think that Alabama doesn't lose ever.
Sure.
They do lose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can think back to a number of times. I want to say that with all the championships they've won, only 2 of them have they done it with an undefeated record.
So I guess my question becomes, obvious question now, is are we finished with Alabama in the playoff, or is this a team, if they run the table, how does this shake out? I saw a thing that basically had an argument that 4 teams from the SEC could end up in the playoffs.
I mean, there's 3 in the top 7 of the rankings right now.
And you're getting the wrong teams losing if you don't want that. Because Alabama, like it or not, Georgia, like it or not, they have a better safety net as far as losing a game. And people will immediately forget about the 2 games you just mentioned, Texas and Texas A&M, but they could 2 losses. Now, where are we? And I'm not saying they're going to win out. This team's got some fundamental problems, especially defensively.
Yep.
Alabama's Tennessee's really good offensively, but Alabama typically wins games when they show up flat because their defense keeps them around until they create a couple of turnovers, a couple of short fields, and they win. The defense is not doing that right now. So where does this Alabama team go? If you had to bet right now, are they in the playoff or not?
Alabama?
Yeah.
I mean, they still, oh boy. I would say yes, just because they're probably going to win the West and they'll play for the SEC championship game. And then I as of today, as of recording this show, I would say yes.
Well, I think it's like I say, if we were a good gambling show, we were probably odds on that. So before next week, we'll have that, providing they're going to win at Mississippi State. Because I think for the first time in a long time, this early in the year, that is a valid question that I think is pretty much a pick 'em. I can make a case either way. If you look at the eye test, this is a team that does not prepared to run through the rest of their schedule, especially in the SEC championship game, undefeated. What does that say about them as a team? If there was anybody but Alabama, we would probably not even discuss it, but it's Alabama. So if they lose 2 games, is there a place? What all has to happen for a 2-loss Alabama team to get in? I mean, I don't think that's happening. I do think USC's probably for real. They may drop 1, but a 1-loss USC team that beats like UCLA or somebody in the Pac-12 championship, you've got 2 kind of separating themselves, Ohio State and Michigan. Clemson seems to be getting it together.
Ohio State seems to be at least better, I think, than they were a year ago.
Yeah, and they're dominating everybody right now. Michigan beats up on Penn State, so where's that resistance going to come from when you're talking about a 2-loss team? Now, if Alabama runs through and wins the SEC, yeah, absolutely, they're in.
Right.
But they're going to have to, they're going to have to beat.
There's still there's still meat left on that bone.
Oh my gosh, a lot, right? Georgia, Tennessee. We got a lot of teams there at the top now. Now that we throw Tennessee in there, that either can be really great news for the SEC or really bad news if you're trying to get them in the playoff.
Alabama plus 145 to win the SEC, and they are plus 450 to win the national championship. So still the number 2 favorite in the conference, number 3 to win it all.
Yeah, it shows me a little bit about what's wrong. I understand the SEC's better, but why we need to expand the playoff system are years like this, because Alabama probably will have if they lose 2, they really will have a argument to be in a playoff. But do they have a top 4 argument? I don't think they have a top 4, but 5, 6, 7, 8 seed having to go up against a higher seed.
Go on the road in the new playoff format when those lower rated teams, lower ranked teams rather, go on the road.
Yeah, it sets up for a great playoff system in years exactly like this. When you have one of these blue bloods, have the players, but they either go through some injuries or just frankly go lose when they're not supposed to. They could very well get it together by the end of December, by the middle of December, and be in a place where they deserve to be in that playoff system. I hope for the shortened playoff system we have now that they are not in. But I'm with you. I mean, the water's getting muddy at the top, and these other schools in these other conferences had better take care of business.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about TCU.
UCLA's undefeated. I mean, there are some teams out there that are on the periphery that are in Power 5 conferences that can easily they can. The road to the playoff is paved for them. They just need to drive down it now.
Well, that's the deal. I mean, undefeated teams out of the Big 12 and out of the Pac-12 are going to get in. And they're gonna hurt a team like Alabama,
sure,
even with the loss,
especially if they pick up a second.
Yeah, if they pick up a second, I don't know how it's a conversation. I mean, literally, somebody may burn down something if although people in California will go to the beach instead, they don't care.
Yeah, if there's an undefeated UCLA and a 2-loss Alabama gets in, there would be riots somewhere.
Yeah, so I mean, but there's probably not going to be. UCLA's not invincible. USC, if they had got through Utah, which was a total debacle. That game was a debacle. But anyway, if they got to get through them, now you've got undefeated versus undefeated possibly, and you've got a real stake. But a 1-loss SEC, 1-loss Big 12, or even a 1-loss ACC versus Alabama at 2. I mean, there is a healthy argument there that it is exactly why we need more than 4 teams to play. So,
good news is we're still a month away from that being a topic of conversation.
A lot yet to be settled. FatJackSports.com, $99 special this weekend. Go get it. Start winning. 149 football and basketball through Monday. NBA's underway. We're going to build so much profit. Just like in football, the first 4 weeks were incredibly strong, incredibly profitable. And that sets up the entire year. We'll have some weeks in football and in basketball where we don't win. We push. We break even some. We lose a little bit. We win most of the time. That is sports gambling. That happens. What you don't want to do is be a person that misses the winning weeks. Don't miss the first week of NBA. Don't miss the first week of college basketball. Get signed up now. Build that profit early so you don't care when those push weeks come. You don't care when a losing week comes because you're deep into profit. You understand the system, and you're ready to win. All right, free winner number 2. We've gone back to kind of old school format this week. We are giving away free winners each segment, which we typically don't do a lot. Because I hate free winners. We've gone through it. You know who loves free winners? Alan.
Alan loves free winners, and you know what? You don't want to be an Alan.
You don't want to be an Alan. You want to win. Don't be an Alan. Sign up. FatJackSports.com.
Is it ALAN or ALLEN?
I'd like to tell you his entire name, and you can look him up on LinkedIn. I really do.
I don't know if we're going to be that vindictive.
I don't. That's a 10-year ago, Fat Jack.
Exactly. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Or I spell out his name. I give his home address. I call my friends at the FBI or my painter friends to go paint his yard. I mean, I do something weird. That's a 10, 15-year all-out assault on a guy who called me fat, even though I'm the Fat Jack and called me an a-hole. Whatever. At this point, I'm like, okay.
When I came on board, I didn't really know. Obviously, all I was getting into. By year 3, I was in deep.
Just hold on to your hat. Exactly. Things could get weird in a hurry. The last thing you want is a professional gambler who makes a lot of money and has a little bit of time, who's a little bit unbalanced.
Yeah, anybody with free time, money, and just a slight chemical imbalance could be your worst nightmare.
That is not a good place to be for the Allens of the world, if that's your real name, Alan.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to do it. There's a ton of Allens. Most of them are buffoons that I know, but there are some real Allens too that I really enjoy. So, free winner number 2. Let's go to, you know what? Let's look at the top of the Big. We did Big 12 in the first one. You know what? I don't care. It's a great game. Kansas State, TCU, Brandon.
Both teams have beaten Oklahoma emphatically. Both teams have, I think, defenses that can answer the bell. And I think both teams are very well coached. Dykes has, I don't think, gotten enough credit for the job that he's done at TCU, mainly because I think that Gary Patterson was so greatly respected as the head coach there that he didn't leave the program in shambles. So Dykes was able to just kind of pick up the pieces, implement his offense, and go. TCU proved a lot to me in that comeback last week against Oklahoma State that they can, when they need to, answer the bell and find a way to win games.
Gritty.
Yeah,
they're gritty. I will tell you this, though, Brandon, that one, very few losses sting anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But my plays last week, most of them outgained their opponent. In every game, we outgained them. That one was 4th and 13, and they basically blew a coverage for a 15-yard in over.
Right.
They were up 7 in overtime, and just flat out blew a coverage and let the guy run a 15-yard curl route and pick up a first down to then not win anyway. Those are the type of game you're literally one play away. People who lose, they don't care. They just want to win. But the reality is those sting a little bit when you have guys literally just blowing coverages. TCU opened 6-point favorite at home, down to 3.5. Sharp money hammering K-State here. The reason is because these two teams typically don't score a bunch of points when they play each other.
Right.
People believe Kansas State, when you keep them low, when the other team's not going to run away and hide offensively, they're going to be in the game, and they're going to have a chance to win. 5 of the last 5 in the series have gone under the total. Total's 59. Also, Kansas State's covered 6 of the last 7 in the series. So Kansas State really outperforming the market on a regular basis, and the Sharps were waiting on this number to come out. So it opened 6, now down to 3.5. I think this is exactly like the Oklahoma State game. There's teams at the top of the Big 12 that are so evenly matched, and whoever comes out of it, by the way, I don't believe anybody goes undefeated in the Big 12. I think they're going to have trouble getting in over an SEC, even 2-loss Alabama. I'm excited for that conversation because I think it's coming. TCU is not invincible. They are not great in the defensive secondary. They do blow coverages. Offensively, they're good, but not super consistent. They run up against good defenses. They're going to struggle. Oklahoma State, good defense. K-State, good defense. They have to also get back up after a big win in overtime. So I like K-State here plus the points. I think they probably win on the road and send the Big 12 even deeper into that mediocrity that I thought they were to begin with all these teams top. Remember, we were talking 2 weeks ago, Brandon, we didn't even know who the best team in the Big 12 was.
Nor the worst team.
Nor the worst team, exactly. Nobody was killing it on top, and nobody was actually getting it done.
Going out of the way and differentiating themselves from the pack.
Yeah, and so I think we still have the same conference. I just think that we had, this time of year, you're going to have some teams that are, separating themselves based on those close wins or close games, and that certainly happened.
Hey, it's Brandon Rush from the Fat Jack Sports Service. If you want to stay in touch with everything related to the Fat Jack, follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. We are there at Fat Jack Sports. You can also watch the Fat Jack Sports Hour on YouTube every weekend. Plus, see funny clips from the show, see Jack's appearances on the nationally syndicated TV show Beat the Odds, and get primed for more profit every week with Bets and Breakfast, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. only on YouTube. Stay connected to the Fat Jack at Fat Jack Sports on all the socials and on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. And for the final time today, here is our host, the man handing out winners instead of tricks. He is the Fat Jack.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 3, NBA underway. UFC goes early on Saturday. If you want to play the UFC, get in Friday night. They're killing it. 5-1 the last 2 weeks. Really, really strong. Those plays are like $20 a week if you sign up for longer packages. They're only $100. And if you don't win on 1 week for $100, you get the next 2 cards for free. So a great deal, great safety net. UFC's killing it as well. Baseball still continuing to be hot. Football, big weekend coming up. Go to fatjacksports.com. That $99 deal is here and ready to go. We turn to the NFL. Thursday night games, Brandon.
Oy.
We won last Thursday again.
Yes.
It's Washington, Chicago. This was a week ago, whatever. Depends on when you're listening to the show. I will tell you, I all but sent out, I put it on Twitter, but I all but sent out an email to my clients apologizing for making them have to watch that game. It was just.
To your point, though, I mean, up on the season, you don't have to watch every game you bet on.
No, you
So
don't.
an apology from you would have, I mean, yes, it shows that you're invested. It shows that you care about the clients. That said, I think most people were like, there's playoff baseball on. There's other things to do.
West Virginia Baylor, or West Virginia, whoever was on.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was great. Watching Thursday Night Football this year is a little bit like being a lady of the night. Can you say?
I think we get it. Yeah. I think I know where you're going with this.
I mean, you're getting paid, but you have to earn it.
Yeah. And like every so often you see one come up on the schedule and you're like, oh, that won't be so bad. And then 30 minutes into it, you're just regretting everything.
You're getting paid. You're getting paid, but you got to earn it.
At what cost?
Yeah, at what cost exactly? I mean, thinking number one worst occupation in America for the 28th year in a row, crack whore.
Okay.
Number one. And that's because you might get paid, but you're going to have to earn it. So
second would be having to produce or broadcast a Thursday night NFL game.
They're earning their money, right? I mean, they are absolutely. By the way, they didn't do Amazon any favors. I mean billions of dollars.
That opener was great. That first Thursday night game they had was a barn burner. But ever since then, yeah, Jeff Bezos. I hope they're getting a lot of signups because, oof.
I'm sure that is exactly what Roger Goodell is saying to him. The opener was great. It's been a month.
Remember that one game we gave you where you had 12 million viewers or whatever, and you had your biggest signups for Amazon Prime ever? Not any larger than any like Prime Day that they've ever had. They had more signups for that day than any other day in their history.
Yeah, there's a lot of football fans. It's interesting to see what happens going forward. The under on Thursday on primetime games have been killing it this year. 12-5 now to the under, and most of those have been Thursday night, just snooze fest. I mean, by 10 points or more. So it's an interesting stat coming up, and I don't think it's going to apply this week, but it will in the future. Thursday night football totals, Brandon, when they're 37-40, they're on, in the last 20 years, they're 18-4-1 to the under by an average of 9.7 points. There's a lot of times, we talked about this with the Oklahoma game. A lot of times Vegas leads you where you need to go, and they will tell you. And so a Thursday night game, when they know the world wants to go over, because it's not the only game, it's only an NFL game, want to go over the total, they're going to put that if it's 37-40, they understand that the average guy's going to say, gosh, it just takes a couple, kind of like last Sunday night. Last Sunday night game, you should have gone under. If they played that game 10 times, it goes under 7 or 8 for sure.
Yeah.
But interception here, fumble here, short field here, those type things, it goes over by a couple of points. So they know exactly what they're doing. I mean, so they put it 37-40. That's basically saying, yeah, I know you want to go over, but it's probably going to go under. And over the last 20 years, on Thursday nights, at least 18-4-1 to the under when it's in that 37-40 point range. As I said, not even close, under by almost 10 points a game. So something to look forward to as we go forward. Don't think this Thursday will be that situation, but definitely has been consistent. In Atlanta, your Atlanta Falcons, Brandon, ex-Atlanta Falcons.
Former, yes. Don't go associating me with them anymore.
Ex-girlfriend.
They've shipped overseas.
That has sailed out. 6-0 against the spread. They're only the third team in the last 10 years to do that. And, oh, by the way, every one of those have been an underdog. So that's why you're not hearing about Atlanta, who's been the most profitable money-making team in the league this year, being a contender any deeper, is because they're not winning necessarily, they're just covering. So interesting to see how long that lasts. They play Cincinnati this week. Cincinnati, a touchdown favorite at home. Cincinnati, so by the way, also really good against the spread. 12-2 against the spread their last 14 games.
Something's got to give.
Something's got to give. It's exactly right. We're going to figure that one out. You mentioned the public getting hammered again on Sunday. The public's getting hammered. That's kind of we should just tape that and put it on reel because every week it's going bad for them. Public early games last week: Green Bay, Baltimore, Tampa, San Francisco, all lost straight up. How's your survivor pool doing?
If you are in this weekend and you are still alive in a survivor pool, hey, hats off to you, because you are either lucky, dumb, or you're from the future. There's the only way around it.
I go on with a lady named Anita Marks that
Mm-hmm.
does a national show. She's on a lot of the ESPN stuff. She's one of their main kind of bell cows for a lot of stuff she does. She does a show in LA and in New York. I go on that every week with her. It's like an evening show. She texts me on Saturday night or Sunday sometime and said, "Hey, Jack, I've got this survivor pool. Which do you like more? You like San Francisco or do you like Tampa?"
Mm.
And I said, well, I released Pittsburgh plus the points in that game. So I do think Pittsburgh covers that number, but that seems a little safer to me, that Tampa should probably beat Pittsburgh.
Right.
The reality, they both lost, so I didn't feel bad at all. But I don't know how whoever's winning in that. I promise you, last week everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, they cut out a bunch of teams." This week, I mean, I don't even know who's left. I mean, you just have to be super, super lucky and be on one of the teams that should win or should have won that got there, and there were fewer and fewer every single week. So interesting schedule this week as we had all those different teams. Dallas, since the start of last year, now on a 17-6 run against the spread, 10-2 on the road, 8-1 in the division. I mean, really, really good. Dallas has been really strong against the number. Of course, they didn't cover on Sunday night, but they missed a field goal to cover. I mean, they were getting a bunch of points, and they had a field goal. They were up down 9. They missed a makeable field goal to turn it into 6 there late in the fourth quarter.
Plus, I mean, if they didn't have those early turnovers, I mean, they could have potentially been in that thing really late.
Yeah, it made it a lot easier for Dallas to bring back Prescott for sure. I mean,
right.
He's been great. The backup's been great. And I don't know that Prescott's going to be the answer because he is a lot less protective of the ball, but it's going to be interesting. But it definitely made it a lot easier than having to have that discussion of who do we go with. So interesting to see how the NFL comes. A game jump out at you this week you want to break down as a free winner?
Not in the NFL, really. I mean, the NFL this week for me does not have a lot of appeal, and a lot of spots just kind of feel about right. I'm deferring to you because this is obviously your bag, right? So yeah. This is a week, especially after seeing what happened a week ago, that really kind of scares me from diving in on my own on the game.
Making a ton of money with crappy games is my wheelhouse. It literally is where I pay the rent on games that nobody wants to watch, but I know how to make money on them. Let's look at one that I think is interesting. Detroit going to Dallas. Dallas coming off the loss. 8 of the last 9 in the series have gone over. And Detroit, their offense is clicking, has been clicking. One of the tops in the league. 6 of their last 7 games have gone over.
With the exception of that, sorry to interrupt you, but with the exception of that game before the bye week against the Patriots, they'd been clicking. Yeah, so I'm curious to see what they do off that loss and off the bye.
Yeah, they should be rested, ready to go. Dallas reeling a little bit, but probably getting their quarterback back. They are getting their quarterback. They have to be, unless he has some type of setback. This is week 6 on that thumb surgery. They could have probably played him last week. I think this game goes over the 47.5. It's a public play, and that's why it's a free winner, Alan, if you're listening, because it's a free one. Because I don't like playing playing with the public, and I do think they'll see the same thing. Detroit's rested. Dallas get the quarterback back. Even with a lot of the success Dallas has had on the defensive side of the ball, Detroit's played some other teams that play pretty good defense. So I go over the 47.5 as your third free winner of the day. 800-298-1383. Go to fatjacksports.com. $99 weekend. $99 everything through Monday. $149 football and basketball through Monday. If you're listening on Thursday or Friday, it's a little more than that. Thursday or Wednesday, it's a little more than that. If you're listening on Sunday, it's a little less than that. But you're going to win this weekend no matter when you're listening. Get signed up. It's not too late. The season is a long way from being over. We're going to make more money going forward than we have so far, and that is saying a lot. So we have made a ton of money to this point in the season. We're going to make a ton more going forward. It's not too late. But if you miss this week, you're going to miss another opportunity to make a lot of money, especially with basketball stars. If you download the podcast of the show, you're making extra money because the free winners are winning. You're getting a little more insight into the games, and hopefully you are capitalizing on that and having a much better season than somebody that is not listening to the podcast version. Brandon, what are your thoughts about this week?
This weekend, there's a lot of really good college football. Not that last week wasn't, and it's going to be tough to really kind of replicate how last week was in terms of like watchability between the college football, the baseball playoffs, the UFC. Saturday was one of the best sporting Saturdays that we've had maybe since the spring. When you start talking about the golf and NBA and hockey playoffs and stuff going on. But it was a spectacular week. This week, a lot of good college football matchups. I'm excited.
Yeah, it was a good day to watch. I was traveling on Saturday, and I sat next to the biggest jackass you've ever met in your life.
Oh no!
Was
a flight from Vegas back to Oklahoma.
Vegas to Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, first of all he said, "Yeah, I live in Orange." I have my earbuds in. I'm trying to watch TV. I don't want to talk to him.
An unprompted conversation.
It always is.
Oh Jesus!
Because I'm not interested. He walked over. I'm in the very front row. He wanted to sit on the other side. He asked the girl on the aisle to move to the middle. That's how we got started. That's the start on Southwest flight. And she, of course, said no. And there was about a 400-pound guy oozing into the middle seat. So he tried to sit there. Didn't work. So he moves over next to me. Now he wants to talk to me because the old man on the window's sleeping. And basically says, yeah, I live in Orange County. I didn't ask. I don't care. I live in Orange County, but I vacation in Seminole. I said nobody ever.
This is his name Alan by chance? This might be the first human ever to go that route. I would think it would maybe be the other way. You live in Seminole, Oklahoma, and then you vacation to Orange County.
He then went on, even though I had my earbuds in, was not listening, to tell me that he inherited some land because he comes from an Indian tribe or something. Okay. I join everybody in Oklahoma. We all come from Indian tribes. And he inherited some land. He put a grow house on there. He and his brother in it for $500,000. Okay. I hated everything about this dude. I mean, there just wasn't anything enjoyable about him at all, including the fact that I got the new earbuds specifically so I would not have to hear people like that when I'm flying back home. So Saturday, although a great day of watching football, not my favorite flight ever. Let's give away a couple free winners apiece here and get some people deeper into profit for listening to the podcast. The show, what's your first one?
There's someone that's listening to the show right now that absolutely knows who that dude is. I'm going to go Syracuse-Clemson. Syracuse, a nice win a week ago at home against NC State. Really a game where I thought that they kind of had to prove that they belonged. They did enough to win that game. Are they on the level of Clemson going into Death Valley? I don't know. Clemson's still undefeated, kind of flying under the radar, which is something that Clemson teams haven't done of late. So I'm going to take the Tigers at home against a Syracuse squad that's improved. But I think Clemson probably the better of the two.
I'm not willing to release against Oklahoma State even one more time. I've done it twice. They burned me both times. Even though I believe they're one of the most overrated teams in the country, having nothing to do with the names on the front of their jerseys. I look at the stats. They got outgained almost 2-1 or by 100 yards or so against TCU, and still figured out a way to be in it. This has been the story of their year. They're giving up almost 7 yards of play to the opposition. There were only two undefeated teams that did not have a top 5 offense or defense. It was them and Old Dominion. They both went down last week. So I think I'm on the right side of where this OSU team is, but money-wise, I've not been on the right side. So I'm not going to release against them probably again, although I may change my mind. But give me Texas on the road. Texas is good. They're going to score points, and Oklahoma State, I don't know, can get in a shootout. Texas has been okay in Stillwater, a lot better than they have been in Austin against Oklahoma State.
Which is weird, but yeah.
Very weird. But yeah, give me Texas minus the points against OSU.
One of my favorite games I ever covered in sports media was Texas at Oklahoma State. I want to say 05, Vince Young era. And you're right. Those games are always very entertaining. And yeah, for whatever reason, Texas seems to have better luck in Stillwater against them than they do in Austin. I talked about UCLA in the show, Jack. They undefeated. Chip Kelly, I think, really kind of got screwed out of the NFL. Granted, he was a bit of a jerk when he was there, but I think the dude can coach. The long-term plan has finally paid off with DTR, and they're undefeated now going into Oregon. I'm going to ride with them. I don't necessarily I'm always been kind of an Oregon guy. Like everything about the University of Oregon kind of fits my personality wise. But again, more during the Chip Kelly days. If anybody knows how to beat Oregon and win in Eugene, it's Chip Kelly. I'm going to take UCLA on the road.
Yeah, undefeated team that's definitely riding under the radar. I mean, nobody giving them a lot of credit for what they've done, and they are kind of right now the flagship hope of the Pac-12
yep.
as far as getting in. So if you're a Pac-12 fan, you probably are pulling for them to pull the upset. Also, they're 6-point underdog at Oregon. So an interesting one from a Lions standpoint as well. I'm going to move over to the NFL for my second one. Tampa Bay going to Carolina after losing to Pittsburgh. I'm not I understand Tom Brady. Listen, dude's lost.
Can you imagine leaving a supermodel to go lose a game to Mitch Trubisky?
It's so much more than that. I mean, him waking up every morning, this guy's got the world by a string, but I promise you he is grumpy every morning right now. It's not just that. He flies off to go to Robert Kraft's surprise
wedding
party. Didn't walk through with the team on Saturday or Friday. Didn't walk through with the team on Friday. Didn't travel with the team on Saturday, and goes in and loses. And this is the same dude who left during the preseason to work out. So he's got one foot into football right now. And what he is realizing that you're right. I mean, it's hard to give up your entire life, which is what he's done. He's turned his life upside down for a sport that is not faithful. I mean, football will portray you if you don't show up every week and play well. And he's still doing things that are a little bit odd. Going to the party, not travel. I get it. I absolutely get it. And they should have won. If they win, we're not talking about it.
Right.
But all that being said, I'm not sure Carolina could score on UNI.
Especially with now potentially a third-string quarterback, because P.J. Walker, who was a star in the USFL and the other alphabet leagues, out with a concussion, may not be ready to go this week.
And even if he is, I'm not interested.
No.
Tampa defensively is very, very good. They are going to show up. This is a circle the wagon spots for them. I'm not sure Carolina scores. And if they do score, it's not going to be more than 10 points. Brady's got to be upset. He realizes what's going on. I think he will focus in here, and you will get that old Tom Brady you're expected to get against a defense that's not that great either. By the way, coming off a long trip last week where they got beat on the road. So a lot of reasons why Carolina shows up flat at home. By the way, good seats still remaining there. They're not a great watchable product. I'll take Tampa and lay the points on the road of Carolina as your second free winner here on the podcast version of the show. Guys, get signed up at FatJackSports.com. Wager responsibly. Enjoy your week. Don't be an Allen. Well, till next week, for Brandon the Fat Jack, this has been the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it's basketball season. Football's underway. The Breeders' Cup's around the corner. Are you ready to make some money? Go to FatJackSports.com, sign up today, and win betting the games against the spread. Football season has started off great. The first month was a killer for our clients, and basketball's going to be the same. Don't miss out on this profit over the next month. $99 this weekend for all the winners. That's $99 through Monday at FatJackSports.com. Get winning plays today at FatJackSports.com.
Hey, it's Brandon Rush from the Fat Jack Sports Service. If you want to stay in touch with everything related to the Fat Jack, follow us on all the socials. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. We are there at Fat Jack Sports. You can also watch the Fat Jack Sports Hour on YouTube every weekend. Plus, see funny clips from the show, see Jack's appearances on the nationally syndicated TV show Beat the Odds, and get primed for more profit every week with Bets and Breakfast, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. only on YouTube. Stay connected to the Fat Jack at Fat Jack Sports on all the socials and on YouTube.